Hi guys, a quick video on sequences. What are sequences? Basically just they're patterns, they're number patterns that you can apply over a scale. So if we're improvising, good old favourite minor pentatonic, B minor pentatonic in this case, if you just play the scale up and down, it doesn't sound like improvising, it sounds like playing a scale up and down. Great, so then what do? Oh, we just make stuff up. Sometimes that's a great strategy. Sometimes it's hard to get started, particularly if you're a little bit unsure of what improvising is. So, you know, you can, some people say, well, follow what's happening in your ear, you know, what do you hear, play that. And that's great if you're comfortable with that, but that takes a while to develop hearing something in your head and finding it on instrument. A great strategy to get the ball rolling is to use your scale of choice, which for today is B minor pentatonic, starting at 7th fret, and running a sequence up and down. Now again, a sequence, it's a number pattern. If you just play sequences in your improv, that will sound just like sequences. But we need to do this in practice and fairly methodically. Repetition is our friend. And then when we're improvising, little bits of it will gradually just appear in your playing over time. You might actually have to make a choice. I am going to do a sequence now. But the goal is that we don't have to think about this too much when we're being creative, and it appears in our playing. Having said that, like I just said before, you need to do this in the practice room fairly methodically. So, if I'm using my B minor pentatonic, now if you're not sure what that is, flick me a note, make a comment or something, and we can do a special look just at what the pentatonic is. And there's more than one way to play it. It's all over the neck. But this is sort of ground zero for a lot of electric guitarists. So this is what we're going to use today. So I'm going to choose a sequence of 4 notes, and I'm going to superimpose 4-note patterns over my pentatonic scale. So here's my start note. Not the most creative place to start, but here is our pattern. We're going to look at it logically from bottom to top. So here it is, and I'm going to play 4 notes up from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. With me? Then I'm going to take the second note of this pattern, which is, what's the second note of the scale? It's here. 10th fret on the E string, it's a D. So I'm going to run 4 notes up from here. And what's the third note of the pattern? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to take the 4th note of the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th note of the pentatonic scale, right? It's F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th, the 4th. Think deep. The 5th note is A. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 6th note brings us back to B, an octave of B. So let me play that without all my jabbering. And you can continue up. And you could go back the same way. I like to start on the note above the root note, start on my 4th finger, backwards, 4, next note down 4, next note down 4. So that would sound like this. Now you might want to just stop the video right here and just check that out for yourself. Just play those 4s up and down and just get used to, you know, you basically, all you're doing is running up the scale slowly. But between each one of these, you're running up 4 notes from where you are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then come back to this note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 notes of the scale. Back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Where was I? phrasing I did there, I didn't really think about it too much. I was just playing the 4 notes with the pause. You don't have to have a pause. You could just have a constant rhythm. So they're all even durations. They're all, what were they? They're quavers. What else? Another really cool one is, okay, so from there, say you didn't do 4s, say you did 3s. You chose 3s. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. It's the same idea, right? It's the same concept. I'm starting on each note of the scale, running 3 up, coming back to the second note of the scale, run 3 up, third note of the scale, run 3 up, fourth note of the scale. I'll do it again. Backwards. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I hit it again. So funny if you overthink this stuff. It's actually easy to get you know, to daydream and what string was I on? What note was I on? And I'm working on mindfulness. So it's good to be present. What note am I on? Am I, you know, it's very easy to think, oh, is this any good? Is this working? How long is this going to take? We all have these little voices or thoughts in our head, you know. Let's not get too far into that right now, Dean. But, you know, just trust in the process that anything that you do with intention and, you know, deliberately and focus, and not trying to worry about doing 10 things every practice session. You know, pick one thing for now and work on that one thing for a little while. And you know, it's still a challenge for me. You know, I keep thinking, you know, am I going to practice chords today? No, I'm going to practice sequences. No, I'm actually going to practice right hand technique. No, but my left hand. No, my sight reading. We just have to pick one thing and just stick with that. So sequences, Dean. All right, so another cool thing, okay, so that was 3s. You could also do 5s, you know, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could, you know, run different numbers up and down from each next scale tone. Now, another cool thing on guitar is you don't have to, you know, run your sequence from each sequential scale tone, right? You could say, I'm going to run a sequence up from where my first finger is on every new string. So say that was 4s. I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to worry about starting on here. I'm going to start on the A string first finger. Now the D string first finger, so I've got to come back. G string first finger, come back. E string, oh, so B string first finger. So that would sound. That's a cool sound, and you can actually use hammer on. You don't have to pick every note this way. So I can pick the first note, hammer on, pick that note, hammer on. First finger, hammer on, first finger, hammer on. So pretty much only the notes that you're holding down with the first finger get picked, and then the others are hammered on. It's kind of guitaristic sort of way of playing. What about if we did descending? So we could use pull-offs or descending slurs, if you don't like to say pull-off. You also can do that descending, right? But not starting on the pinky. You're not starting on the highest note. You could actually descending, but using ascending slurs. So you have to kind of be creative with this. You know, don't rely on what anyone tells you to do or what you get. I mean, read and learn as much as you can, but start thinking, well, what happens if I do that with 5 notes or 6 notes, or if I start skipping strings? You know, I don't have to play, you know, from one adjacent string. So what if I'm doing those 4s? What if I'm doing that, and instead of playing the next string, I jump over and then come back like we did the leapfrog before, the 2 steps forward, 1 step back. This time I'm doing that with strings, with string combos. So 1 and 4 on the low E, jump over the A, go to D. Then come back to A, jump over. So what's going on? So first pattern is on the E string, we jump over to the D, come back for the A, go to the G, come back to D, over to B, come back for G. Oh, well, I haven't played that, that's kind of cool. I like that, you should try that. Slowly. Now we're getting into something that doesn't really sound much like just at all, because of the, you know, the articulations between pairs on one string and then jumping over to a higher string 2 strings over and back. It's starting to get, you know, melody that might look like this. Not just but it's potentially more interesting anyway. All right, so hope that helps as an intro to sequences. Now you can use these ideas on any scale that you know. Doesn't have to be pentatonic. It can be anything. It gets interesting when you don't just have 2 notes per string. You know, if it was B minor, or the natural minor, which has extra notes, right? It's like the pentatonic, but it's so like 3s here would be. Sounds a little bit more, I don't know, serious. What if it was 4s? So, yeah, any scale that you know, you can try these sequences. Yeah, hope that helps. Let me know. Send us a message if you want me to go over any of that, or if something didn't quite make sense. I'm always happy to go over something again if I haven't explained it clearly. And yeah, please subscribe. I'll just keep the videos coming, but yeah, it's always good to see little subscribe numbers go up. So thanks guys. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you again.